I was a bartender, I was a server in my 20s. Then I started working at Gold's Gym, and I was just living paycheck to paycheck. Leadership means you choose the hard. That's exactly what we do. We choose the hard. If you're looking for success and it being convenient, what if you could be ready and positioned to actually build a phenomenal agency?
Our next speaker is someone who is absolutely, her team is blowing up because she has a proven system that she is helping people win. She is someone that is doing an amazing job. Her team is growing and exploding in a very, very, very cool way. And she is flying to us all the way from North Carolina to spend time with you on Pipeline Playbook today. And so please welcome from NASB and the Dream Makers team, my friend Ashley Khalid.
Showing you guys some really cool stuff. But before I show you some really neat things, guys, who would like a free diamond ticket to 8% Nation? Who would like it? Because I'm going to give away a free diamond ticket. Light up that chat. I want to see you. And all you have to do, you can see my Instagram right over here. And what I need you to do is go ahead and follow me on Instagram, and I can see everybody that follows me. And I'm going to do a raffle at 2 p.m. today, and I'm going to give away a diamond ticket. It's going to be my first experience at the 8% Nation. So if it's your first time going, guess what? We can go together. So I'm really, really excited. Those that don't know me, because I don't know a lot of you, but all of us know Cody Askins. So today what we're going to be going over is, I think it's really going to light your soul on fire, because isn't that what you want? You want to be challenged. And if you don't know me, I've been in the industry now for 10 years. I graduated from East Carolina University. I was a bartender. I was a server in my 20s. Then I started working at Gold's Gym, and I was just living paycheck to paycheck. Anybody can relate out there? Living paycheck to paycheck. I see you, Greg. That's right, right? And I can tell you one thing is, when I stepped into the insurance world, I remember asking God, praying, begging to get out of that 800 square foot apartment on the second floor with my good-looking rascal of a husband that was also working at Gold's Gym with us, and our little baby boy. And I just was sick and tired of being sick and tired of being broken, weak. And I just was like, gosh, going into my 30s, I wanted more. And I knew then if I wanted more, I had to become more. And I knew that God had something in store for me, but I had to get out of his waiting room. You guys, over the past 10 years, it has been an unbelievable journey. I used to pray about the things that I have today, the relationships that I have today, the culture on my team that I have today. I remember, many years ago, being able to earn MVP at North American Senior Benefits, being the first female partner in any final expense industry, private setting as a brokerage across the United States. And I can say this, you guys, would I do it all over again? Yes. I wouldn't be able to do it all over again, though, if it wasn't for the giants and the shoulders that I was able to sit on, like a Greg Baden, a Jordan Smith, a Craig Harvey, a Chad Milner, and influencers like Cody Askins. But the greatest influencers, those are the ones that are part of your why. Those are the ones like your spouse, like my good-looking husband, Dustin, and my cute little sassy frass of a daughter, Chloe Bell, and Christian, my jujitsu warrior, and the Dream Makers team. I would do it all over again. Every single hurdle, every single struggle, every pain that I had to experience. Because why? Because it was worth it. 110%. And I want to show you guys somebody that, this is my special guest, but she's not in the studio today. This is little Chloe Bell. I don't know if y'all can see that. Oh, there we go. If you guys can see that, that's Chloe Bell. Now, this was about 3 years ago. She's my daughter. She's 10 years old. And about 3 years ago, we were transforming her from going to public school and then going into private school. That was always a dream of ours. We wanted to be able to pick and select the education for our kids. And we were able to do that, but I didn't understand how hard it was really going to be for her to go into private school, because the school that she was coming from, it was almost as if she was delayed by 2 years. So going into a private school, which was a very elite school, as a third grader, they were almost teaching you how to be a sixth grader. And I remember my daughter coming home every single day, struggling. Woo! Getting emotional about it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to cry. But I remember this. I mean, guys, this was just 3 years ago. And she would come home crying every single day. And I remember the teacher called us in for a parent-teacher conference. And me and Dustin go. We got Chloe with us. She's still in tears, of course, practically every day almost because of the homework. And the teacher came to us. I'll never forget this. She came to us. We're sitting down in her room. And she said, I've never met somebody like your daughter. And I can't pinpoint it. I don't think it's a learning disability, but there's something that's holding her back because she's not comprehending the reading. And I believe that she can't pass third grade. Now, any parent out there that can relate, okay? Any moms out there, any dads out there, when somebody says to your kid that they can't do something, there's something that stirs inside of it. And I call it a fight, but it wasn't my fight to fight. It was my daughter's. So I remember turning to Dustin, I remember turning to Chloe, and I asked Chloe, I said, are you willing to fight? Because I looked right at the teacher and I said, just hold on one second. You don't know my daughter, but let me ask her. Are you willing to fight, Chloe? Are you willing to fight? Because we're willing to fight. We don't have the word can't because that's a curse word in our family. And in tears, Chloe said, yes, ma'am, I can do this. I said, what is your name? She said, Mom, it's Chloe Khalid. And I said, that's all I need to know. Here's the teacher saying, I don't think she can do it. The conviction that me and my husband had in our voice that day in that classroom, I can remember like 4:30 p.m. that afternoon. I said, watch my daughter pass third grade. Watch. The conviction that we had in our voice that day, the teacher even said that because you believe in her, I'm going to tutor her for free. And I said, no, we don't want a free ticket here. We don't want to do that. We will pay you for it. She said, I'm going to tutor her every single day. Now you guys, that teacher, phenomenal. Clearly I was very upset with her back then, but I can say this is that don't ever tell me, don't ever tell my daughter. And I would say to the same thing to you. When the world tells you that you can't do something, what do you say back? I teach my daughter to say, watch me. And that was just 3 years ago. Yes, she did pass third grade. Yes, the girl can read. She does not have a learning disability. But I can say she probably has a learning disability when it comes to her sassiness, okay? Just like her mama. But folks, maybe you can relate out there. Leadership means you choose the hard. That's exactly what we do. We choose the hard. You choose going first. This wasn't my fight. It was Chloe's fight. And I'm talking to every single one of you guys right now. This is your fight. And you've got to step into this journey knowing it's probably going to be the hardest thing you ever do. Everybody wants the financial freedom. Everybody talks about legacy, generational wealth. Well, I'll sit here and tell you this. If you're looking for success and it being convenient, that ain't success, period. Leadership is hard. And I know you might be looking at this and saying, hey, I don't feel equipped to lead potentially. I don't know if I'm enough. I don't know if I can really, with everything that I have on my plate, you just don't know what I have on my plate. No, look, I'm not your story. This is my story. But I do know this, is that your impossible is God's possible, period. And I want to talk to the agents right now. We're talking about the pipeline, the playbook with the pipeline. But what if you could duplicate that pipeline, times it by 10, 20, 40, 50, 150, 300? What if you could be ready and positioned to actually build a phenomenal agency? And let me remind you folks, God doesn't call the qualified. He qualifies the called. And if you're in here and your heart is tugging and you have the desire, you have a big dream and you want to lead, that's telling me that you want to be able to multiply, that you want to be able to duplicate yourself. And again, if you go to my Instagram, just like what I said earlier, I'm going to be giving away a free ticket. But also, if you like the content over the next 15 minutes, guess what I want to be able to do for you? On Monday, I'm going to be giving away a free webinar on a builder's blueprint. We're going to go ahead and drop that link in there. Follow me on Instagram because, folks, it's going to be a sick webinar for free, straight up. And I will give you the secrets of how I actually did it, going from being an agent to then building a phenomenal agency. Now, let me go ahead and go here. Ready? Let me kind of show you just a little bit when it comes to, whoops, let me go back there. There we go. Oh, okay, there we go. Let me kind of show you my journey a little bit, okay? So when it comes to this journey, you guys see 2015. That's when I went all in when it came to North American Senior Benefits. Nobody knew my name. I didn't care who knew my name. I just knew I needed to make money. I had never made over $3,500 a month. I was a general manager at Gold's Gym. Coming into this industry, I just wanted to make $5,000 a month. If I could make $4,000, that would be amazing. 2015, I made $50,000. That was a very hard year. Why? That year was so hard because I realized I had a lot of gutting that I had to do for myself. A lot of forging when it came to my character, when it came to my work ethic, when it came to my time management, when it came to my financial stewardship. None of that was taught to me. I believe that you can't teach somebody grit. Maybe you could influence them. I believe that you can create the atmosphere where grit can exist, but I can't put grit inside of you, just like I can't control you. A leader can't control anybody, but they can control the atmosphere, can't they? So you look at this and you're seeing, what in the world? Ashley, you're telling me that your income, your deposits, 2016, 2017, 2018, didn't earn one promotion, 313,671 in deposits, 30% growth. The biggest year of percent over growth of 54%, 2019, 689,000. And then when 49 million Americans in 2020 lost their jobs because of COVID, 73% of small business owners had to close their doors because they weren't essential to society. But what arena was essential to society? Financial services. What? You're telling me the arena that they've already predicted that in 10 years is going to be a 4.33 trillion revenue making arena. That is correct. That's exactly what you're in. How incredible is that? To be a part of not only a movement, to be a part of something that's essential to society, to be a part of something that can move the needle when it comes to generational wealth, and a step towards what? What we all talk about, financial freedom. Don't tell me you want it, but then don't do the actions necessary in order to make that happen. Being an agent, is that going to create generational wealth? Let's be real, is it? Probably not. Probably not. Building an agency, duplicating yourself, franchising yourself out, that's where generational wealth is really created here. So how are we going to do it? Here we go, folks. Let's be real. I'm not here to, I guess you could say, motivate you. I'm not even here to inspire you. I'm here to move you to think differently, because how you see one thing is how you see everything. And if you could see this thing differently, then maybe potentially your action steps to doing something different will actually what? Produce progress for you. So when you're looking at the fact that hype fades, structure pays. So when you're looking at structure and you're looking at profitability and security, let me go ahead and just kind of show you guys something real fast. You ready? Structure. Would you rather, and I want you guys to light up the chat right now, if you want to lead, if you see yourself as an agency builder, go ahead and light up the chat with the number 1. Go ahead and do a number 1, because that way I want to see all those folks I want to see. Good Lord, Lynette, Alfonso, Tracy, good gracious. Chat is lighting up. Tamari, Greg, Mark, good gracious, a lot of you. I feel like everybody on this webinar wants to do that. So when you're looking at structure, okay, folks, here we go. What is going to be more profitable for your business? Ready? Watch this. Is it 3 that have 20 agents on your team? Okay. And let's just say hypothetically, this is you. Are you going to make more money with 3 agents that are direct to you, not below you? You should eliminate that word from your vocabulary for the rest of your life. You saying the word underneath, below, dude, don't do that. This is your business partner. They're direct to you. It's like a franchise. Is this more profitable or having 10 direct? What's more profitable? Having 10 directs with 20 agents on your team, or 3 directs having 20 agents? What's more profitable? The width. You see, width, I don't know if hopefully y'all can see this. I'll do this. Width, what that equals is profitability. That's what that equals. Width equals profitability. Depth equals what? Stability. Hopefully y'all can see that. Width equals profitability. Depth, that's legacy money right there. That creates your stability. So when you're looking at the fact of how can I make profit, but then it also be secure, you got to look at your structure, because the structure is going to be able to determine the spread. But you know what else is so crazy about this arena? It's so predictable. I always knew when I was going to be hitting a promotion, because Jordan Smith and Greg Baden, they would tell me and they would say, hey, Ash, you're on the verge of hitting a promotion. And I'm like, how do you know that? Because it was about writing agents. Writing agents. There's a lot of folks out there that say they might have 50 agents on their team, but really what they're telling me is, do you have 50 contracted agents or 50 writing agents? How many writing agents do you have? Last month, our report was 147 writing agents. In the month of March, we did over 2 million in production. Not too shabby. If you do the math on that, that's an equivalent of 11,000 in production per agent. No wonder we're moving the needle. So when you're looking at profitability as a business owner, you got to look at the structure. You got to be able to visualize that structure and know, what players do I want to have in my what? In my tent. And if you were like me in 2015, which is why I made 50,000 and not 126,000 like I did the next year, is because I had to learn from the lessons that God kept trying to repeat in front of me that I wasn't overcome. What are you talking about, Ashley? I was hiring anybody that would breathe. oh my gosh, this is great. I'm going to pay for their pre-licensing. I want to pay for their leads and I'll pay for all their materials. I was so desperate. No wonder every single agent practically that I hired in 2015 quit until I said, hold on, let me take a step back here. There's two reasons, two things that a builder, if they're not getting the results that they want, it's because of two things. Feel free to write this down. And if there's something that's inspiring you, maybe a quote that I say, light that sucker up in the chat because maybe it might help somebody else out as well. Help them move. You ready for this? You either have a people problem or you have a systems problem. That's it. I had both. Legit, I had both. And that's not a good place to be in, but I'm going to be very honest with you. It was the perfect place I had to be in. Some of you right now, you're complaining, you feel like you're a victim. Good. Y'all, you are where you are because of the way you think. Period. You are where you are because of the way you think. And the way you think determines the way you speak. The way you speak determines what? The actions. So we got to change the what. We got to change these thoughts that are going into your head. Got to look at this differently. So I remember just kind of taking a pause and saying, hey, let me kind of start creating some systems here. Let me start filling in the gaps here. Let me start forging my character. And then bam, I meet Laura Sisko, who's working at Chick-fil-A. Wonderful character, beast. But you know what? She was sharper than me, prettier than me, sharp as a goose. Well, goose aren't sharp, okay? But I will say this. She was on fire. She had the grit and she had the work ethic and she was sick and tired of being where she was. And I just went up to her. It wasn't polished. People feel like, oh, well, they got to be so polished before they actually try to what? Go out there and get some talent acquisition, recruit potentially all these candidates? No, this is how I did it. Hey, Laura, yeah, I know you're from church, right? You're in the nursery. Hey, gosh, this is crazy. I think you'd be really great at what I do. And she said, well, what do you do? And I'm like, I sell life insurance to seniors. It's really cool. You should come to an event. I'm going to Charlotte. You want to come with me tomorrow? And she's like, no, I work. And I said, well, maybe next week we can get in the car together and you can just see what I do. And she's never made less than $7,000 a month. Matter of fact, she's on the verge of hitting full partner in our company. She hit junior partner, I think about maybe 2 years ago. Girl's making about $50,000 to $60,000 a month. Take home in income. Not too shabby for a 33-year-old with 3 beautiful daughters. There's 3 things I want you to understand. 3 things. If you hire easy, you're going to get hard. If you hire easy, you're going to get hard. But if you hire hard, the ones that make you feel a little uncomfortable, and you know what I'm talking about, the ones that make you sweat a little bit. I was sitting down with a gentleman and we hired him. Guy makes about $300,000 a year in car sales. Said, if you want to drive down 4 hours to meet me, bro, let's go. Pass the interview. Phenomenal. Couldn't be more excited. If you hire easy, you're going to get hard. But if you hire hard, you're going to get easy. Okay? So there's 3 things I need you guys to write down. You ready for this? Attract, develop, retain. A-T-D, sorry, not T. A-D-R. Attract, develop, and retain. I've got 5 minutes. You ready for this? If you want to attract the best leaders in your company, because you don't want to waste time with the ones that don't want to be a partner. They don't have the skill sets. They don't have the desire. They don't have the grit. They have nothing when it comes to what you laid out as far as what you are looking for in what? A phenomenal agent that can be on your leaders that find leaders. That's always been my battle cry. Leaders that find leaders that find leaders. Attract. The best thing a leader can do is provide the right example. Gut yourself right now. Not like that. That'd be super weird. But legit. I want you to take a good internal look. Would you follow you? You know you. You know the behind the scenes of what goes on. Would you follow you? How's your work ethic? How's your studentship? How's your coachability? When was the last time you actually talked to your mentor? What are you doing behind the scenes to become duplicatable in this industry? And here's the really hard thing that I realized in 2015 is, does your capacity have the ability to attract a high-performing candidate? Ooh. Oh, I mean, that's going to get you guys, right? Does your capacity, AKA what you can handle, be able to attract a high-performing level recruit? You see, here's the thing. This is one thing I do know. Don't build what you can't carry. This was March 2015. So when you're looking at March 2015, this is what I wrote, because I didn't even have a team back then, okay? 14,561 of placed business, 31 applications, 31 lives protected, whoop, whoop. Go ahead with your bad self, Ash. You fast forward 10 years later. 10 years later, just 10 years, 2,005,340 on 21 lives protected. That's 2,100 renewals. That's 21 lives that were protected. that's money in agents' pockets. Because let's face it, guys, you're going to get what you desire for your team. That's exactly the life that you're going to get, is what you desire for your team. The D is develop. When it comes to develop, your job as a coach is to what? Fill in the gaps. Your job is to fill in the gaps where your agents struggle at. Maybe it's their blind spots. That's your job, to fill in the gaps for them. If you're not happy about what you're getting on your team, you got a people's problem or a systems problem, guys. But guess what? You are what you tolerate. What are you tolerating on your team? Why would you tolerate the below average player, the toxic person on your team that's negative Nancy or negative Joe? Why would you tolerate that? This is your legacy that you're leaving to your family or your loved ones. Why would you tolerate that? If you're not happy about the results of what's going on, you better focus on what you're giving. You better focus on what you're giving to your team. What are you giving them? What value are you giving them? People will leave you if they are not getting value from you. Brian Askins, Cody's dad, phenomenal gentleman. He said this, Ashley, one of the biggest things that you should never say to an agent is, hey, what can I help you with? What can I help you with? No, you don't say that, because a good coach, a great coach, already knows how to fill in the gaps for their agent. I shouldn't have to ask my agents, what can I do to help you? I should already know. And then the R is what? Retain. You retain with a relationship. You develop those small touches because those are trust deposits with your agent. Your capacity, in closing, your capacity, it's built. Your capacity is built when you take on the hard. Don't be afraid to step in it. Don't be afraid to do that. Please write this down. You can't withdraw loyalty if you never deposited value. I'll repeat that. You can't withdraw loyalty if you never deposited value. DM me, folks, because on Monday, I'm going to rip apart this builder's blueprint. Monday, 4 o'clock Central Time, 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time with the builder's blueprint. I'm going to get Cody back on. Let's go, Cody.